What a Catch, Part 53, a Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction. If you have not heard the previous 52 parts of this story, you can find a link to them in the description box below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel to stay up to date on the latest chapter releases. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and comment down below in support of more fanfiction. Adrien hadn't cracked his phone screen in almost 5 years, but now he was staring at broken glass scattered across the kitchen tile as he realized the depth of Marinette's words. His body was physically rejecting what he heard, sending him into an anxiety attack and suffocating onto the floor, unable to pick himself up. Marinette was Ladybug? Marinette was Ladybug? He squeezed his eyes shut as he reminded himself to breathe. That wasn't the problem. Marinette as Ladybug was fine. More than fine, actually. But it hurt him. It broke his heart. How could she do this to him? How could she keep this from him? How could she keep it from him after knowing who he is? Did it take her that long to trust Adrien as Marinette like she trusted Cat Noir as Ladybug? Weren't they partners? It would be one thing if they were complete strangers, but they'd been beside each other all along, even as teenagers. How could he have been so blind? And what about him? As Adrien aggressed, prevented her from telling him once she found out that he was Cat Noir. He knew she liked his civilian self. They had a mutual respect for years. But did she dislike Cat Noir enough that she would keep it from him? He wasn't sure how she'd respond to his reaction either. The line was probably dead by now, and even if it were live, she would be panicking on the other end after hearing the thud from him dropping his phone on the floor. The minutes passed by as the sun began to set outside his window, casting a melancholic light across his apartment. The broken glass twinkled in the light, accenting his already dramatic response to Marinette's news. What should he do now? Where should he go from here? It seemed like his mind was breaking. On the one hand, it made sense that Marinette was Ladybug, as well as a relief. But on the other hand, that truth hurt him. Why didn't she trust him more? Furthermore, if he was trying to move on from Ladybug by dating Marinette, but Marinette was Ladybug, does that mean he could only love that one girl? That if he messed this up, he would never love again? Thinking about it that way, it felt like he couldn't fall for anyone else, even if he wanted to. He closed his eyes and rolled over onto his back, paying no mind to the glass that crunched beneath him. He needed a friend. He needed Plag. But he was almost 6,000 kilometers away. He, out of habit, reached for his phone, slicing his hand open as he forgot that it was broken. Adrien chuckled sadly to himself, sensing a strange amount of irony mixed with nostalgia. A few years before, he had sat on this very floor with a broken phone and an anxiety attack because he lost his girl before finding out who she was. Now here he is, in the same place with a different smashed phone, dating her and knowing who she was underneath the mask. He thought the feeling would be more fulfilling than this. Hours had passed by this point, and Adrien tried to rub all thoughts out of his head. He wanted to be numb. But just as he was about to fall unconscious, he heard a rapping at the door. Although it was hard to remember at times, Adrien had friends in Paris as well. He wasn't alone. Not as Adrien aggressed, and, finally, Not as Cat Noir. Not this time. Thank you so much for listening. What part are we on, guys? Part 54 will be available shortly. In the meantime, you can check out these other fan fictions. I'll catch you next time.